Hey there, guys. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Once again, I was just planning to do a couple of videos. Then suddenly this video idea hit me. I am such a thinker. I'm such a progressive thinker. I'm sorry, I'm joking. It's early morning. I'm wishing you good morning. I'm going to do a morning thoughts episode. It's 6 a.m. on the dot. It's a public holiday in Bangladesh, and I think today is going to be a little bit peaceful and quiet. I hate that honking in the morning, the whole rush. I actually don't like noise for some reason. For some reason, I live in the city, but I like it peaceful and quiet. Where away from people. But I was thinking this. I'm very disturbed nowadays. Physically unwellness. It affects your mental health, and then a lot of things happening in the life. I don't want to share those things and burden you, but life has been a little bit on the rough side in last few months, and you start taking the heat, like feeling the heat when you are a little bit struggling. So I've been struggling a little bit, and from these few realizations, so I try to sleep it off. But sometimes I don't feel good. Does it happen to you, like you don't feel good sometimes, when you, no matter how much you sleep, you wake up all tired and you are going through fatigue? No matter what good things happen, you eat good food, you buy nice things, still you're not happy. Phases like that happen when you're not mentally okay. You see nightmares, you wake up and it's like so realistic. So these things are happening with me. Sometimes I want to do videos, I do have things to say, but I forget. So altogether, getting old, I think it has its good things. You learn, you get mature over years, and you learn better things, and you learn from your mistakes what not to do, and how to correct yourself, how to be more humane. These are the goals as you grow old. But sadly, you'll see many people grow old and become worse over with the time, unless they are running sickness like Alzheimer's, or like these multiple personality disorders, or these things. Unless you have a sickness or depression, people who are in the normal sense, when you imagine like older people being racist, older people being rude, selfish, and older people being very horrible and unpleasant to animals, and they throw rocks, those types, right? So that's not the goal, I believe. As long as you can think, maybe you are not a very pleasant person, a very angry person, but over the years you learn better because you like to be treated nicely. Okay, talked about this before, but not everybody understand that. People feel like, I want to be treated nicely, but I will not treat others nicely, right? So there's this imbalance between what you like for you, but what you don't like for others. So today I want to talk about honesty. This is a very simple thing, I keep talking about it, and it's very overrated, I guess, or underrated. People don't like to talk about this. When you hear these, they'll be like, oh, yawn, pass, let go, let's not listen. But listen, I would like to tell you, I like to urge sometimes, maybe I can make changes, because I feel, when you're inspired, from inside, as long as you're alive, you have two gifts. One is your brain, one is your heart. From this, you can think, and from this, you can feel. So together, if you can combine like music, if you have a perfect combination of bass guitar, and then proper guitar and drums, you have amazing tracks, right? So at times I feel things are right, but I don't know 100% for sure, like 100% certainty if what I'm thinking is good for human beings. But I feel, what makes you feel right, like, let's say you be kind to animals, you be kind to homeless people, and you feel when you hear good music, you cry, you feel that you're in touch with yourself, then you are okay. You don't know 100%, but you know that, you can feel. As long as you can feel, you're good. But then at times you become numb in the hunt or pursuit of money. We'll do whatever to become successful or get our goals. We will step on thousands of lives to go above just using them. We know people like that, right? But I assume one thing, that no matter how many bad people are out there, the world is still okay in one piece. No matter how bad it gets, go anywhere in the world where is horrible things happening. You go Palestine, you go Africa, you go Middle Eastern countries, even States, UK, going through financial crisis, right? So life is not easy anywhere. Everywhere people are struggling, feeling the heat. They cannot buy the things they like, cannot maintain the living standards, and cost of living is going high. So at this point, I think, I talked to my best friend. She is also my sort of like, my best friend and soulmate, right? So often I talk about this thing. We're not the same. She's very practical. I am very emotional. So we're very different type of persons. But she keeps telling that, you engage yourself too much with the world. And it's true. I see when I don't have job, when there's no business, when there's no much movement, I, like you, I go through reels. One reel finish, automatically another one comes, right? And you see so many nice videos, nice puppies, nice, funny videos, clips, you laugh. and you have your food, Chinese food, and then you just enjoy. Great combination, so sometimes you see get into this negative patch, like you see about your country, like corruption, a lot of this, the horrible, crime case. I don't want to say those names, what crimes, the worst ones human beings can possibly do, like violating rights of others, take away others' rights, you know, torturing the minority or weaker. When you see this, your blood boil. If you're a good person, you'll be like, why? These people, I really wish the evil doesn't win. But in the end of the day, evil wins every day. And moment you see it over and over again, and you see these people are the most powerful, they're the ones who steal your money, your rights, your freedom of speech, yet you cannot say anything, because moment you say, you'll be the enemy of the state. And this is where my point starts. Nowadays, the person, the messenger who wants to speak the truth is the most disliked person, is the most hated person in the world, and the most lonely person in the world. Can you relate? You can, I guess, because if you have been there in the good person's side, like I know some of my friends, they go through heartbreak and they're really honest. When people are mean to them, it bothers them for days. They cannot feel why, they cannot understand why people are being mean to them. The reason being, people are toxic nowadays. The life is toxic around you. The roads, people are crazy on the roads, the jam, the road rage. Everybody's stressed for, mostly for the money, because of the problems. If it's not money, you're not happy in your family, right? So when I speak of all this, I'm not out of this. I am part of these people, and I am part of the toxic society because I live here. I wish I could take myself somewhere away from here. Like I really wish, I tell you one thing, I really wish I could quit Facebook. I could quit my mobile phone. I could quit anything that, like, keeps you with a string, like people can track you, they can call you, they can find you. I wish sometimes, like back in the days, we did not have mobile phones. We did survive. We did great. We did sports. We enjoyed our picnics. We enjoyed our time as, kids, like great childhood memory, real life concerts. We used to buy cassette CDs, from the 80s, 90s. So these are all related, by the way. I'm not exactly going to go point by point. So if you're not following, just like it's a storytelling sort of, okay? So what I miss is the simple times. Many of you who grew up now, your 30s, 40s, you can tell, like, yeah, it would be great times. I could go to my friend's house without, just need of calling or making an appointment, or you could just simply make a plan and just do it. I miss my friend life, like friends, university life. We suddenly just decide. I used to have a car. My friends maybe did not have a car. Some of them, they're like, hey, bro, let's just share petrol and let's just go for highway or late night drive, for we'll just be out all night. And this kind of things used to make us happy. We just, for the heck of it, just gonna go wear our shorts, take our wallets and our mobile phone. We just drive all night, go to a different state, stop by, have a smoke, or have like nice dinner, and then you come back and sleep in the morning, miss our next day classes. No worries. Great times. When you bunk classes, that's the best times ever. So obviously our grades did not come out great, but we had great life. So everything, we remember those songs, we remember those times, the movies we watched. Nowadays, life has become, we just think like it's a temporary phase, but it's not. When you see the generation today, they are lost. They don't know anything about the country's history. When I look at my country, they don't know anything about our culture. And now the government is in power, supposedly is the freedom fighters, like our independence war, this side, right? But in this time, people know the least about our country, our history, and they care the least. When it's a sad day, supposedly a day that you're supposed to be sad, like a martyr day or something like that, supposed to be observing, like sadness or tragedy, you see a lot of people are just happy. They are just so happy. They don't know what they're celebrating, what they should be proud of. When they ask them, they will like, it's a celebration, isn't it? So you cannot blame them, especially the previous generations. When we fail, we are too, mm, how to say, busy with ourselves. We are selfish. We are corrupt. That's exactly what the next generation is going to learn, watch, and follow, right? So nowadays, as I was saying, the messenger who brings the good message, okay, they say something good. Let's say in Facebook you protest, like you see something wrongdoing, and the general public or majority, they're doing something wrong, as a whole, because they can, and they are just like victimizing one person who cannot defend himself or herself, and you do not support the whole bunch. You go in support of that victim. That that person is being harassed or being wrongly accused. give you an example, then you understand better. In Bangladesh, I don't know about your country, people say women are weak, women are real victims, and they fall victims, and I have full respect to that, which I always will say. People say do not hit women, but when women hit you, they are no longer just nice people. So they are not really victims. When men get like feel like, oh man, this is like I'm living in hell. But there are a lot of men also out there who suffer domestic violence. They are, like physical violence is not all. Mental torture, like if you're a mental terrorist sort of life partner, they go through this every day, right? And they cannot speak up. They cannot do anything. They literally are like under observation of their wife, like a hawk, where they're going. If they're having a good time, she hates it. She hates his friends. He's not allowed to go anywhere, have a good time, have a good beer, like watch a game. You guys know, like many of you see movies, like guys secretly form like a club, and they just want to feel like excitement. They just like they want to do something. They're just tired of this life. So you see the one side, like they say men are bad, they're irresponsible. Women blame men all the way. End of the day, men are the one who are paying divorce settlements. They become broke. Hardly any cases men win, right? So I am not like gonna say all men are good, all women are bad, or vice versa. But I also say there should be some sort of justice. I always speak of it. I always thought of making, if I had time, I would make a community or a club where men can come and share their, pain, because men are always not allowed to cry. Men are not allowed to tell the struggles. There's some people like, hey, toughen up, man up, right? I think those are the toxic traits in the society. Men also have feelings. Animals have feelings. When you see the cows crying, because you can tell when there's separation between the owner and the animals. Let's say the owner pass away, you see some dogs, they become so depressed, they don't eat no more. They go sit on the grave, and then they sort of like, how to say, like become sort of lost. So the loyalty and love from animals are very pure, right? So I can tell you one thing, like these things, this way of feel, if you can feel, I'm pretty sure you won't be engaging yourself in wrongdoings. You can engage yourself in doing mistakes, but you realize like, no, 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 I'm doing something wrong. So I was giving example of men, right? Let's say a man, this guy is a victim of false accusation. Like let's say someone pointed his finger, said he is a thief, okay, or he is a abuser, he disturbed this woman, right? If a girl said that on the street and she slaps him, nobody's gonna bother checking or cross-checking or verifying if this is true, or she's just trying to punish him or frame him. I'm not saying that maybe he's just not, as a man you should give him benefit of doubt, but at least justice, hear him out, hear both parties out. When there's a divorce and the women say, I was victim, I was to be beaten, that's the news they focus and they post. How about the men's side? A man cannot be all bad all the time, right? A man can be also like going through stuff, and there is also fault in both sides, maybe, because as I was telling, mental terrorists, if you go through that every day, the shouting, the whining, the complaining, you don't feel the love no more for your partner. These things are true, and you have to lie. Oh, you're so pretty. Imagine she becomes like 150 kilos. You love her, you tell her, no problem, that you look beautiful. But at the same time, she is not a very nice person. Imagine she's mean, and then she really try to best to look better every day, try to look like gorgeous, but inside she's not a nice person. How do you become nice to her? How do you not pretend? If you pretend, like, let's say, oh, no problem, in your head you're like, when she's gonna leave the house so I can just enjoy the peaceful and quiet, right? You've been there. So many men can relate. So when you're talking about the honesty, I see cases. Let's say a poet in Bangladesh, real story, said in his state, I want assurance of nothing else, but I want clean waters, I want clean air, and no pollution. Just three things, and he put a poster or something. He got arrested. Why? Because the powerful people did not like it. People like to have the power, but they don't want to work. What they want to steal, they want to become rich. That's why people get into politics. Absolutely nobody, zero education, nothing. Just because he has influence, he is just muscle power, they become parliament members, they become the MPs, they become the influential ministers, this and that, mayors, and the law is with them. They become the law. So, you see this and you feel that that one guy, how strong is he? What is he doing? He is just saying, I want my rights. That's what made him the enemy of the state. You feel me? And these are what boils my blood. I cannot do much. Sometimes she tells me like, what you gonna do with all this thinking? You get so engaged. I cannot help it. Maybe I do have a condition. I have a bipolar, probably. But I feel wrongdoing shouldn't happen at this scale. When you open the newspaper, literally in Bangladesh, you'll find nothing positive. All you see is people, like there's not a single space for people to stand and just enjoy, like peaceful and quiet. Beggars coming, police coming, people disturbing, trans people, they're coming and disturbing, asking for money. You cannot enjoy a cigarette. Like, let's say you want to just enjoy from the work a cup of tea and cigarette, just take a break. You won't be able to enjoy. People will call you in the middle of the break. Hey, where have you been? Weekends, people wake you up at 7 a.m. Hey, there has been an emergency. Please, could you come over and cover for me? At that point, how do you feel? This is what's wrong with the world. So you cannot be honest. If you actually could speak your mind, people would hate you. If you could actually see, if you could be honest with your friends, 99% of your friends won't last. Okay. They will be just like, hey, he's not a nice person. Then, like, you tell your friend, man, I don't think, you should, maybe run so much. You tell them honestly for their own good. Maybe you should not focus so much on, money and stuff. Maybe you should take care of your family, spend some quality time. You tell them honestly, they take you wrong. They think you're rude. Oh, are you calling me I'm a bad person? I'm a bad husband? And what do you know? Then they start taking offense. They're like, do you know? Have you ever been there? I work so hard. I make this much money. What have you achieved in your life? They take things personally, right? So obviously there are ways to approach your friends, but if you have connection, you will always feel like you want something good for your friend. Let's say a friend is drinking too much. You tell them, bro, it's it's destroying your liver, your life, and you're not gonna feel good after a while. Moment you tell them that, you're like, screw you, man, you don't know anything what I'm going through, right? So you cannot be a good person even if you want to. That's why many people just want to, then they say like, hey, it's just gonna bring me back trouble. Why should I speak up? If you see something wrongdoing happening in the country, 100 people are quiet. Corruption is happening, wrongdoing is happening, and moreover, people who are doing the wrongdoing, they're the loudest voices, and they'll be like saying, change your surname, change the area name, change everything. You cannot say a word, where their real work is control the pricing of the food, market, uh, control the living, expenses, rental, everything. They cannot do any of that. Money being, like what you call money laundering, it's leaving the country. No matter how much you earn, your base is always empty. So these are the things. Instead of us, people who are in power, who are old, they have been there, they know what's better, they don't care. See how corrupted these older generations are. Where are the good generations? If you do not believe good things need to be happening in the society for the overall welfare, you really feel, I become rich, that's all I care. If you think like that, everybody thinks like that, when you're going to be the victim, no one's going to be there, right, anymore. So we are not there for each other anymore. We are not a society. We are I and you, me versus you, not me and you, not living in peaceful and harmony and living in, like, we celebrate other people's religious affairs, or like, let's say Christmas. When you in Bangladesh, if you say Merry Christmas to everybody, there's this particular group, they'll be saying, aren't you a Muslim? That is wrong for you to do that, wishing someone else that. That makes you less of a Muslim. Where they are the one who are molesting children, where they're the one who steal money from the mosque, where they're the one who's stealing shoes, where they're the one who's stealing people's rights, who are the ones take money but never deliver. What's the purpose of your religion? You cannot be a better person. Imagine the month of Ramadan coming. People are not just gonna say, hey, don't eat. That's the whole purpose of Ramadan, but it's not. There are a lot more things to abstain from: corruption, wrongdoings, backbiting, or those other stuff. Not just eating. You feel hungry doesn't mean that that achieves your whole goal. I know this because we've been there. 42, 43-year old, we have learned better things. So moment you, let's say you fast, like you fast whole day, then you go to host like hotel, 5-star hotel, and you just jump on the food buffet and you eat until here, and you start feeling sick. You wasted so much food, so much money, and you just feel horrible because a whole day of fasting. Try eating a lot, especially rich food. It is not going to be perceived well by the body. So you should know what's good for you. Sometimes to leave other people alone. Do not practice your rights on others, like go to others' boundaries, disturb them. and take away others' rights, someone's property. I know a lot of people, they pretend to be good, but they're okay with their parents acquiring other people's lands, wrongfully take other people's properties, they steal their money, a lot of parents, they know their parents borrowed money from the bank, they never paid back. But it's okay because they enjoy their life and they're good, right? They're happy. So this kind of happiness, perhaps, I see it for a long time. Last thing before I finish is I see this happening all over, and all I see is bad people winning, evil is winning, and people just always saying horrible things like to justify like what happened in. I heard a few days back. It's okay. They justify, the passing of children, and they laugh about it when women, children are being victimized. It's okay. They're like more the better. Let's say you are from different religion, okay, and you do not support those people, it's okay. But what is your sense that wrongdoing, crime will happen, and you don't support good or bad, you support your race, you support your people. Are all your people good? Once they're done with other, they're going to be starting with you. This is what happens in Bangladesh. We once thought, you know our government will take care of us because we supported them wholeheartedly, we believed in a cause. Nowadays there is no cause. There's all, everything is askissers. They will be like just trying to butter their way up, trying to be in politics so they can become richer. That's all that's left. You see what happens to your generation, your children, your country, your surroundings. Your moment you go out of the building, you see how dirty your roads are. Then you realize no matter how much heaven do you think, how much higher do you live, doesn't make any difference. This is what I think I am sick with. I wish I could not bother about this. I wish I had power. I wish I had the power to punish people who are gangs, who are attacking people and then just victimizing, because people cannot say anything, they're scared of them because they carry weapons and stuff, right? So these are heartbreaking, and you allow these, and you let people become corrupted, you let your police be corrupted, everybody's living in fear. Is that a good state? Is that a good life to live? You think you are doing great, you're doing a job, nothing's being happening. One day something will happen to you. You'll be victimized in a hospital where our system is horrible. Horrible. Our doctors, they just like put you in a test which they don't even know that you might have conditions and you might have complications and you might just pass away. They put you through that, and you'll be like victimized. Even being a rich guy, you go anywhere, you see the doctors are powerful, nobody can touch them. This is the system you wanted. um, Sometimes, yeah, I get triggered. I really wanted to not get engaged, but it boils my blood. I really wish I was. This is why I say sometimes, what's the point of people being so proud? Hey, don't speak bad about your country outside. You have to speak highly. Why you have to speak so highly when your state of people is horrible? People have no manners, they have no education, they are wild, they are ferocious, and you're top to bottom, everybody is corrupt. If you want to get your driving license, you have to pay. Like, even if you know how to drive, you pass the exam, you have to pay bribes. And if you speak against it, then you are the enemy of the state. So are you one of the enemy of the state? If you are, be feel proud, like someday good will triumph. I really believe this. I really want, like people to be happy someday, stop worrying, stop giving their life, giving up. When I see these, when I see people just cannot speak anymore, when we ask them, go to the market, ask the poor, when was the last time you ate meat? They said, we eat leaves. We cannot afford chicken, we cannot afford the cheapest fish. When you see that, they just cry quietly. This curse is going to come back and harm people who took their rights, right? So I'm sorry that I got a little bit emotional. So uh, think about these things. If you can help someone, the best you can do, at least do not harm others. And you see someone who cannot afford, old person sitting there, and buy their vegetables. Do not do bargain and stuff. Buy their stuff and help them, give them some extra money. When you see your bikers, like the food panda, they just deliver your food, give them some tips, they'll be very happy. They just could afford maybe a drink or a tea, they'll be so happy. They'll be like, yeah, there's good people in the world, and they give you blessings. These are the only things that will remain. Nothing else will remain. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching, and try to do something good. Even if you're a bad person, let's say a corrupt person, and you do bad things, take bribes, you can always come back. You can always do something good. Maybe it will make you feel better. It will protect you from harm. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye bye.